world that seems perilously close to destroying the food chain, which is essential to human survival, perhaps one of the most brutal and inhumane examples is the subject of illegal shark finning. The illegal shark finning industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry and a part of the black market. It is responsible for over 100 million deaths of sharks annually. And the deaths occur by companies and boats stripping the fins off sharks while they're still alive and then throwing their living, breathing bodies back into the ocean to essentially drown. Industries cause corruption within governments in oceanside cities and towns in where fishing and money is an issue. Third world countries like Costa Rica. I'll give you an example. A Greenpeace boat called Sea Shepherd off the coast of Costa Rica was called to essentially act on a boat that was illegally finning sharks. So they come up to the boat, they apprehend the people, and they tow them into the docks and deliver them to the Costa Rican government. Once there, the crew of Sea Shepherd was actually taken into custody by the Costa Rican government rather than the illegal shark finning boat. This is because of how much money is actually generated from the fins themselves. The illegal shark finning industry has dramatic effects on our planet and the ocean ecosystems. Before I start, I'm going to pass you out a few photos here so you can follow along. If you want to just take and pass it back. While you guys have a look at these, Rob Stewart, who's actually the director and producer of a film called Shark Water, I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, estimates that in 5 years, most species of shark will be wiped clean from our planet. This has dramatic effects on our ecosystem, and especially ocean ecosystems. This creates an imbalance within the predator and prey in our seas, especially in tropical waters where sharks are more prolific. A study found by Greenpeace finds that species lower on the food chain become threatened by population and birth defects when the most successful predator in the ocean, the shark, is taken out of the picture. An example of this is diminishing numbers of the tiger shark species that were found off the coast of the Hawaiian waters created a rapid drop in the population in tuna. And in fact, with this the population dropping of tuna, this has a direct effect on the fisheries department in the Hawaiian waters. Tuna has been essential for the people of Hawaii, and it's been a part of their diet for generations and generations in the past. And only recently now have they seen drops in the tuna populations as they see a rise in the shark finning industry. Now, the shark finning industry not only affects ecosystems in the water, but also has a dramatic effect on us as humans. Oceanside countries and villages, like I said, that rely on shark meat to survive is becoming more and more difficult to find. Meanwhile, boats out of many waters around the world are taking only the fins and throwing the meaty substance that these villagers rely on back into the ocean, essentially as we throw trash in garbage cans. This forces the villagers in these towns to relocate and start a new way of living, which they're not used to, which they've been living the same way for their whole lives, with their ancestors and ancestors behind them. And this will change the way the ocean ecosystem functions, and in turn it'll make it worse. Now, opposing sides of this argument will say that finning sharks brings in mass amounts of money for various governments that are struggling and where money is hard to come by. And bringing money to governments like this increases tourism and travel revenue, so these countries find that if they can generate more money through the use of finning sharks, it essentially will make our planet more well-rounded in the balance of money. And it also builds in fish species in the towns. Their argument is that take the sharks, the predators, out of the water, the fish species will therefore grow, and then fishing will go up. But in turn, as I said before, the fish that are being created and that are being born are having birth defects and becoming overpopulated, which in turn makes the fish no good anyway. The fins of the shark are actually only used for something called shark fin soup. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but the fin itself is only used for the soup to create a texture. It's actually flavored with chicken broth. So it's kind of, and it's so, each bowl of soup is served, and it costs $100 per bowl of soup. It's actually a Chinese delicacy for weddings and banquets and stuff like that. So they find it an important piece of their culture. I'm not saying that there's a problem with their culture. I'm saying there should be a way to create this texture without the use of taking so many sharks out of our oceans. And although this industry does bring stability as far as financial to countries like Costa Rica, it highly fuels illegal organizations like the black market, and also corrupts governments that have to lean towards illegal acts in order to run a successful place. And also, shark fin soup. In conclusion, decimating the world's shark population throws marine life in a downward spiral and affects more than just what lies beneath the ocean surface. It is something that causes a chain of events within human society and fuels illegal groups and creates mass corruption in third world governments like Costa Rica. The act of illegally finning sharks is extremely inhumane and is a step in the wrong direction for mankind and should be outlined indefinitely worldwide in order to create a sustainable Earth for generations to come.